Fathers are represented as loving in CST. John comforts upset Edie and Ernest when Maggie is distressed due to Alex stealing her money. It's alright. This shows he's a loving father as he can step up in the case of an absent mother. Fathers are represented as being overprotective in CST. After Jenny has been out all night and John Morrison doesn't know where she has been, John Morrison becomes violent. John hits her across the face. Here ELS portrays John as overprotective and controlling, to the extent that he resorts to violence to assert control. In CST, fathers are represented as being inept and unable to provide. John is unemployed and can't make any money to provide for his family. I've done my best, I'll work when there was work to get. ELS clearly portrays John Morrison as a father who has tried and failed to provide for his children. Fathers are represented as wanting the best for the families of CST. As soon as it is possible to do so, John Morrison wants to do the best by his family and spoil his children as he has been unable to prior to this point. This is the first Christmas I've had a decent job for 10 years. It's going to be the best. ELS clearly demonstrates that John, as a father, is keen to give his children as much as possible. In CST, fathers are seen as caring. While John has disagreements with Jenny, he still cares for her a lot. I can get that mad at Jenny, then she looks up at me with that wee smile of hers, and I can feel my heart turning into butter. ELS shows that despite the sometimes overly protective and violent exterior, John is a father who cares deeply for his children. In CST, fathers are seen as wanting to improve themselves for the sake of their children. John gives up alcohol and goes to the library instead of the pub to further his knowledge. Get off before your father comes in for the library. He doesn't go to pubs now. ELS shows that John Morrison is willing to give up things he enjoys in order to provide for his family. In CST, fathers are seen as insensitive. John makes his feelings clear to his children. When Alec comes home to stay after his roof has fallen in, John Morrison makes it clear that he doesn't want him in the house. What I'd like to do is kick him out of the house. John Morrison clearly establishes a disappointment that fathers at this time would happily express as their sons don't match their expectations. Fathers are represented as being selfish in CST. In Tally's blood, Luigi arranges for Lucia to marry the son of a landowner, who in return will give him more land. I've got my own plans for Lucia. Here AMDM shows Luigi as a father who puts his own interests in front of his daughters. In CST, fathers are seen as unfair and demanding of their children. Luigi expects Lucia to do all the work around the house and cater to his every need. Today you work hard. Here AMDM portrays fathers as expecting a lot from their children. In CST, fathers are seen as being positive influences. Hughie's father was a good, caring man who looked after people. She's got my daddy to look after her. Here AMDM shows that fathers are appreciated by their children and have a positive influence on them. Fathers are seen as being loved by their children. Massimo cares for his father and is concerned for his welfare. I was frantic for losing my father. AMDM portrays fathers as figures who are looked up to by their children in CST. Fathers are seen as protective in CST. Bridget's father is strict with his children to make sure they are safe. Madame no let us go to the dancing. Fathers are conveyed as protecting their children from the risks they face in the outer world. Fathers are seen as an important part of their children's lives. Massimo takes on the role of a surrogate father for Hughie. I don't want to lose you, son. The use of the word son indicates how much Massimo cares for Hughie and shows that Massimo sees the role of a father as being important. In CST, fathers are seen as holding back their children. Franco feels like his father has stopped him from achieving more in his life. I've worked in that shop for as long as I can remember, and for as long as I can remember I've thought of getting out. Here AMDM shows that fathers can be seen as obstacles by their children when it comes to having their own life. Fathers are seen as loving and tender in CST. Massimo dotes on Lucia and treats her as though she were his own. Oh, who's a lovely wee girl. Here AMDM shows the role of a father as a caring one. Fathers are seen as helping their children in CST. Alan's dad helps him get a job at the factory, and the boss, Willie Curry, looks on Alan favourably, joking dad. You never let on Bob down, he was your father. Alan doesn't mention his dad, showing that he may not like the preferential treatment. Fathers are seen as providing for their children. Jesus Christ, that belongs to my dad. Alan's dad gave him that fountain pen for starting his new job. Fathers are seen as largely absent in the lives of their children. Phil's dad is largely absent in his life, and your old man's never in. John Byron is saying that due to absent fathers, life is much more difficult for young people to succeed.